The Pirates bullpen is struggling greatly right now. Guys that you expected to be the leaders in this bullpen after great years last year have taken desperate steps backwards. The guys that you expected to be big pieces in this bullpen that might have had iffy seasons last year that looked the part, they have taken step backwards. We're going to talk about what is going on with this bullpen, a couple pitchers that stand out to me as the key pieces of it struggling, and then we're also going to talk about Ryan O'Hearn heading to the injured list for about, looks like Ben Cherington says, about 4 or more weeks, and we're also going to talk about the rumored replacement coming up for Ryan O'Hearn. I almost said Ben Cherington right there. But we're going to talk about Ryan O'Hearn's rumored replacement, according to Noah Hiles of the Post-Gazette. All that and more. Make sure to subscribe down the channel down below if you're new. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. Let's just get right into this bullpen, because this bullpen is the hot topic right now amongst Pirates fans. I was at the game this past Friday night when the Pirates were up 6-0. Then they were up 8-3. And then they lost 11-9 after a 9th inning collapse. And then a 10th inning collapse. Gregory Soto blows it in the 9th against his old team, the Philadelphia Phillies. Those fans love him from the past, saying sarcastically. I had a Phillies friend at the game, and I texted him, well, leave it up to Soto to blow it against his old team. Then Dennis Santana comes in. He's going to be kind of the part of this episode we're going to be talking mainly about, because Dennis Santana is supposed to be a guy in this Pirates bullpen that you expected to be able to be that back-end guy you are going to trust, especially after what Dennis Santana did last season. And it was a great season for Dennis Santana. And we're going to talk about all that and more. But let's just go pitcher by pitcher in this bullpen. Then we're going to go to Dennis Santana here. So there's a main group in this bullpen. I have all of them. Anyone who's thrown a relief inning, I am going to talk about besides Carmen Mlodzinski, because his relief innings have come in opener roles. So we're not going to talk about Mlodzinski here. We're going to talk about Johan, Evan Sisk, Mason Montgomery, Justin Lawrence, Isaac Mattson, Gregory Soto, Dennis Santana. Those are your main 7. Then we might touch a little bit on your Wilbert Hotels, your Brandon Bijois, and those types of guys. Let's just start with Johan Ramirez, though. Johan Ramirez is a guy that many expected could have been a non-tendered candidate, and I was honestly surprised the Pirates brought him back. He was a guy that's been on multiple teams. He's actually had multiple stints with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you're expecting him to be one of these guys that is replaceable. And so far this year, it's been nothing but that. He actually has the most relief innings amongst Pirates pitchers this season. Johan Ramirez is already at 27 innings. He has a 2-run record, 20 games appeared in, 1 save, 2 blown saves, and that is a theme with the Pirates so far, is blown saves. So far, 2 for Ramirez, 2 for Gregory Soto, 1 for Lawrence. We'll talk about him a lot today. Isaac Mattson has 2, Dennis Santana has 2, Hunter Barco has 1. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 blown saves by this Pirates team so far. That is a big reason why they are floating above 1 game over 500, is this bullpen has not been good. But back to Johan Ramirez. Johan Ramirez sits at a 3.67 ERA so far this season. Not bad, but however, his whip so far is at a 1.3. It is a big jump from where you see Evan Sisk right now at a 1. Greg Soto and Wilbert Hotel are the only guys that have pitched so far for the Pirates bullpen with a whip under a 1. The theme of this bullpen as well has been the walks, and the walks are heavy with this bullpen right now. So far, Johan Ramirez has walked 15 batters. 15. He has struck out 33, but whenever you see Johan is on, you know he's on. Like his last appearance, 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. But when you know Johan is off, it's when he's not throwing strikes. And whenever he's throwing some wild pitches. So far, 2 wild pitches this year. He's hit 5 batters. And he's had to intentionally walk 7. And he's among the 15 walks. He's also allowed the 1 homer, 11 earned runs, and 20 hits. So you can tell when Johan Ramirez is going to be wild. But Johan Ramirez isn't really the problem in this bullpen. He's there to eat you innings. We were at the game a month ago against the Rays, that 2.5-hour rain delay. They had him eat extra innings, and he kept them in it. He, of course, allowed some runs and extras, but the Pirates immediately tied it right back. The only thing that Johan has been struggling with has been throwing the ball to first base. Don't let him do that. He has 3 errors this year throwing the ball to first base. It's been his kryptonite. But however, he is not the big issue of this bullpen in my opinion. It is an issue, don't get me wrong. But I didn't really have high expectations in the first place for Yohan Ramirez. I don't know if anyone had high expectations for Yohan Ramirez this year as a guy that was a non-tender candidate. We saw Colin Holderman get non-tendered last year. That is why he is not here. And don't go look at his stats for the Cleveland Guardians right now because, it's pretty decent. But Yohan Ramirez, yeah, 3.67 ERA, not the greatest. Let's move on to Gregory Soto, though. He's now at a 2.42 ERA, 22 games, 4 saves this year. He's held 6 games intact, 2 blown saves, including the one this past Friday night. 22 and a third for him, 9 walks, 26 strikeouts. So a very solid strikeout to walk ratio there for Greg Soto. His whip sits at if you're wondering this one, let me pull this up. His whip sits at a .85. He is the only Pirates reliever under a 1 that is still with the team right now. I'm not counting Wilbur Dotel's .75. I am counting Greg Soto as he is still on the Pirates bullpen, and he was the big money acquisition for this bullpen. $7.75 million for a guy that's not your official closer, because that's also a problem with this team, I think. The Pirates don't have a named closer right now. And it was supposed to be, you would think, Dennis Santana. Then we see Dennis and Santana and Gregory Soto sharing bullpen reps. They are sharing the closing role, and both of them have 2 blown saves. Both of them have had some struggles. Now, Gregory Soto has had a lot more highs this year than Dennis Santana, and I'm not as worried for Gregory Soto than Dennis Santana because Greg Soto has been decent all year long besides that outing against the Philadelphia Phillies this past weekend. Gregory Soto for 7.75, a 2.42 ERA, it's passable. If he's your fill-in closer, so be it. You just have to hope he is not catching this bug that everyone in this bullpen has right now when it comes to pitching clean innings. Because you could see it. When I was at the game on Friday night against the Phillies, you could see Gregory Soto didn't have it. He was throwing balls. He was throwing some wild pitches. He has 3 wild pitches on the season amongst the 9 walks he has. You can tell whenever teams are going to hit off of Gregory Soto. So far this year, he's allowed 1 homer. That was against the Baltimore Orioles and that Gunnar Henderson on opening day. But besides that, 6 earned runs, 7 of which aren't one of which isn't earned on him, but 6 earned runs, 1 homer, 10 hits so far this year. A decent surprise, though, in this bullpen has been Evan Sisk. He was a guy where it's like the Bailey Falter trade happened. I was like, why are we trading Bailey Falter for a random reliever? I was not a fan of that trade. But Evan Sisk has actually been their better guy in the bullpen. 15 games, a 1.42 ERA, 19 innings of work, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, 24 strikeouts. He's hit 3 batters. So far, Evan Sisk right now sits at a whip of exactly 1. And he has been decent. Besides Evan Sisk at that 1, it is a jump to Yohan Ramirez's 1.3 whip. And if you're only allowing 1 guy on base on average per inning, you still don't want to allow any base runners. But I will take that for Evan Sisk, because Evan Sisk is a guy you're probably not expecting much out of. You're expecting a guy, he's the mop-up guy. Now, he has allowed some inherited runs to score, and that is Evan Sisk's issue. But he's not allowing his guys to score. He's not creating issues on the bases. He's only allowed 3 runs himself in 15 games, in 19 innings. He's at a 1.42 ERA right now. Will this last? Probably not. But I'm completely content with what Evan Sisk is doing right now, because let's get into the big issue of this pen. Let's talk about Dennis Santana. Dennis Santana so far this year sits at a 4.66 ERA, 19 and a third innings of work so far, only 12 strikeouts, 9 walks, 1 intentionally walk, 1 hit batter. So far, he has allowed 3 home runs, including 1 against the Phillies and Bryson Stott the other day, actually yesterday. 10 earned runs, 12 runs, 10 of which are earned. I'm more concerned about his advanced metrics right now. Dennis Santana was supposed to be the back end of this bullpen. You traded David Bednar, you kept Dennis Santana. Okay, let's see what happens here. Well, Dennis Santana started the year pretty well for the Pirates, but has since taken a step backwards. He is taking a step to what is going on territory. He has taken a step to it might not be fixable territory, and you might have to move on territory, which is crazy to say for a guy that had a 2.18 ERA last year and 16 saves and shared the role with David Bednar and took it over post-David Bednar trade. The year before, when he was acquired by the Pirates, it seemed like the Pirates were going to be the team that fixed Dennis Santana. He had a 3.89 ERA across multiple teams, including the Pirates in 24, 25, the 2.18. So far in 21 games this year, he's at a 4.66 ERA. Right now, on Baseball Savant, his pitching run value is 18th percentile, poor range. Breaking run value, 5th percentile, amongst the worst in baseball. Off-speed run value, amongst the worst in baseball, at a 7th percentile. His fastball run value sits at a 75th percentile, which is above league average, borderline great so far. He has that going for him. But this is what scares me. Expected ERA is a 5.83. That is good for 10th percentile. Expected batting average is a 294 with the 6th percentile. His whiff rate, 22 with a 28th percentile. His strikeout rate, 6th percentile, 14.1. Walk rate, 10.6, it's at 29th percentile. Barrel rate, 17th percentile. Ground ball rate, 7th, extension, 18th. If you go look at his Baseball Savant page, it is a lot of blue. And blue is not good when it comes to advanced metrics, hitting, and pitching. Dennis Santana is not striking out guys anymore. And they have not struck out this year. He has had multiple outings where he has not struck out a guy. He had 2 outings against the Mets. Well, he actually had 1 outing against the Mets, that is. No strikeouts. He didn't strike out a guy against the Reds. He went on a little bit of a stretch against the Cubs, Nationals, and Nationals again. No strikeouts. He didn't strike out a guy against the Cardinals after that during the blown save. Then he's been on a little stretch until yesterday against the Phillies, and I'll break that one down too. Against the Diamondbacks twice, the Giants, and then the Rockies and Phillies once. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 games from your quote-unquote closer, and now your low-leverage, medium-leverage guy as he works on what's going on. That is a solid stretch to not have a single strikeout from a reliever who's only pitching against, hopefully, 3 batters at a time. Against the Phillies in Game 3 of the series on Sunday, he looked like he was coming back to form a little bit. He struck out the first 2 guys, and you're like, whoa, okay, here comes the strikeouts. We've been worried about these Ks. And then Bryson Stott hits a home run. You're like, oh, we're back to square one with Dennis Santana. They have to figure out what is going on with Dennis Santana ASAP, because it is important to figure him out, because Dennis Santana has a key factor to this bullpen being successful. And we all knew going into this season that the bullpen was going to be an issue, the outfield defense was going to be an issue, and some of the depth was going to be an issue. And so far, each of these things has been correct of being thought by the fans. The bullpen has had this horrible stretch that every single pitcher, except maybe Greg Soto besides the runs allowed, and even Mason Montgomery, who allowed a home run against Kyle Schwarber. Montgomery's been fine. Isaac Matson's caught the bug. Dennis Santana's caught the bug. Johan's caught the bug. Greg Soto and Montgomery, even allowing runs, have kind of caught the bug. But your main pieces of this bullpen, everyone has some sort of issue so far right now that they are not figuring out. I don't know what's going on. They brought in Bill Murphy to be your new pitching coach. Oscar Marin seemed to have it all locked down. The pitchers wanted to get a new pitching coach to figure out how they can get better. So far, I'm iffy on Bill Murphy. The starters have looked decent. The bullpen, however, has been It's been not good. And a lot of fans just blame Don Kelly, too. Who's Don Kelly supposed to go to? You can't pitch Gregory Soto or Mason Montgomery every single night. They're both left-handed pitchers. You need better right-handed options. And if there's a guy to be DFA'd, it's probably Justin Lawrence. Let's just break him down really quick, because Lawrence is by far, I'm a big fan of what he can do, especially when his sweeper is on, but so far this year, his sweeper is off by a mile. Justin Lawrence is at a 5.89 ERA in 20 games, 18 and a third innings. He has allowed 12 runs, 18 total runs, 12 of which are earned. He's allowed 3 homers. He allowed 2 on opening day against the Mets. 8 walks, 1 intentional, 3 hit batters, and 19 strikeouts. It has not been good for Justin Lawrence. Justin Lawrence percentiles, just like Dennis Santana, a lot of blue. But neither of his pitches have anything. We saw an outlier, 75th percentile in fastball run value for Dennis. Pitching run value, 11th percentile at a -6. Fastball run value, 6th percentile at a -5. At a 0 is his 37th percentile breaking run value. Expected ERA is a 5.76, 12th percentile. His expected batting average, 295 with a 6th percentile. That is not good. He actually has a little bit more gray on his profile that looks better than Dennis Santana, just because he's striking out guys a little bit more, which is kind of crazy. But so far, before we move on to Ryan O'Hearn, because I want to try to keep this shorter than usual, Justin Lawrence's whip sits at a 1.53. That is over 1.5. That is not great. You need better from Justin Lawrence. He's going to be the guy that gets DFA'd first. We've also seen the likes of your Cam Sanders come up and down. I haven't been impressed with Cam Sanders in any of these opportunities he's gotten, but he is clearly that go-to reliever when the Pirates need a name. Where is Wilbur Dotel? Well, I'm expecting him to be back soon, probably. That's another question fans have had. But yeah, they need to figure out this bullpen ASAP, because clearly it is a problem. And if you are going to be a playoff team or a team that wants to be in contention, you need a bullpen you can trust. I can't imagine this team throughout the season not making changes to this bullpen. Where is the depth, though? You have Bijois, you have Kelly, you have Dotel in the minors. You've called up both Dotel and Bijois already this season. Is Bijois ready? I don't know. Is Dotel really ready? I really don't know about that one either. Antoine Kelly's been used as a starting pitcher. Are you going to make him a reliever? When Jared Jones comes back, this is part of the argument you can have for putting Majinski in the pen. But the way Bubba Chandler's looked, some people are saying put Bubba Chandler in the bullpen, which I can't believe we're at that discussion right now. But the way Bubba has pitched, he might be worth the demotion at AAA. It is frustrating. This entire bullpen has caused a lot of frustrations for me. But let's get to another frustration so far I have. And it happened this weekend. Ryan O'Hearn is now on the injured list, and it sucks because he has been by far one of their best hitters. He was the big 2-year acquisition. Yes, the Pirates made a 2-year deal. How about that? And they're in a situation where it's either Jake Mangum or you have to call someone else up, and I am hoping and praying it is going to be a call-up. So far, Noah Hiles has reported kind of two different things on social media. He said it's looking to be Jostinson Garcia, but then he kind of backed it up saying like nothing is official yet. But if it is Jostinson Garcia, I hope it is, because he's been posting so many things saying I'm getting called up, and it would suck if he's not getting called up, and it's like, man, like, what are we doing, Pirates? But Jostinson Garcia gets the call, supposedly. We're going to act like it is Jostinson Garcia. So far in AAA, it hasn't been great. Let's be honest. He had some dealings with his back, went down to Bradenton for a rehab, and he raked in Bradenton, hit 3 home runs for the Marauders at 364, 400 OBP, and 818 slugging, and a 1,218 OPS in 6 games played. So far for the AAA Indianapolis Indians, he's hitting 205, 256, 356 with a 612 OPS in 19 games. Now, he did have a really cold stretch to start the year, and many are believing it's because of the bad back he had. But his first game back in AAA Indianapolis, he goes 5 for 5, hitting 3 home runs back-to-back-to-back in 3 separate at-bats, and then had 2 hits along with it. So far this month, he has looked pretty solid. And if you're calling up that bat while it's hot, fine with me. And you traded Johan Oviedo to get Jostinson Garcia. That makes me want to see him even more. A lot of fans, including myself, were like, let's get Jostinson Garcia up here. The way he hit in spring training was great. He was raking in the spring down in Bradenton. I got to see it firsthand. It was awesome. He looked like a piece of this team that you could trust. And then people were like, well, if you want him called up, where's he going to play? Well, you play your best players, and Jostinson Garcia on the roster was not going to be one of those better players. So you want to give him reps in AAA. Well, compared to what they have, I would rather watch Jostinson Garcia rather hit than Jake Mangum every day. Because I haven't really been the biggest fan of what Jake Mangum has done. A lot of his swings don't look good. He's swinging at pitches way up in the zone. It reminds me, and I don't want to compare him to this player, but it reminds me when we were watching Jack Sawinski for the last couple of years. I looked down at my phone yesterday while Jake Mangum was up to bat. The game was already over. It was over when they were down 3-0, let's be honest. Or 1-0. But I'm looking down at my phone when Mangum's up. I look up. It's an 0-2 count already. I'm like, did Jack Sawinski come back? Mangum is swinging out of his shoes at some of this stuff. Now, there might be growing pains with Jostinson Garcia here. I could care less. Give him the reps. O'Hearn's going to be out 4 to maybe 5 or more weeks. You have to give him reps while the reps are there. And the fact of the matter is this is all stemming from even Ozuna struggling. Ozuna struggling has forced the Pirates to have to play Mangum more because you have to move players at DH because you've had to bench Marcell Ozuna. You need Marcell Ozuna, and that's the bar I have on the right of me. What now? You need Marcell Ozuna to step it up in this $12 million bat he has for you. You need him to put better numbers. Sure, he's had a better May so far, but you need to start seeing those numbers grow in the box score. You cannot have a guy with a sub 600 OPS in there every single day. He'll hit you a home run every so often, but then he'll go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts against Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies. He needs to be better, especially if you're paying him $12 million to just play DH. He can't play the field. Now it's going to stem into a Marcell Ozuna rant. I have to move on. Another guy that you could have called up, if it's not the password, is Merlin Valdez. He's a fan favorite prospect. I don't think it is Valdez. He's only played 44 games in AAA, but we have seen Connor Griffin only play like less than 20. He's hitting 250 right now in AAA Indy, 380 with a 474 and 854 OPS. As Merlin Valdez surged through the system last year, and he was a really fun story, fun personality. Got to be near him in spring with the Bradenton when I went there. He was really fun to watch. And he also has 8 home runs. Hit a home run yesterday after the Ryan O'Hearn injury news. So we're like, maybe it's going to be Ez Merlin. I don't know if the Pirates are going to rush Ez Merlin more so than Joe Stinson, just because Joe Stinson was a big piece, or major piece they added this offseason. Ez Merlin will be cool. I think we're going to see Ez Merlin Valdez by the end of the year. I don't know if it's for Ryan O'Hearn, though. I think it's going to be Joe Stinson Garcia. That's what the original reports from Hiles say. Is it an official report? He backed up on it, saying like he doesn't know, it's just a report. He could be joining them in St. Louis. It could even be a guy like Tyler Callahan coming up, which I really hope it's not Tyler Callahan. But if it is, what's there to lose? This team has to bounce back against the Cardinals and Blue Jays this week. I surely hope they do. I hope the password's up. If it's Valdez, I hope he rakes too, because I like both of them. They can both play outfield, and they need something in the outfield that can hit a ball harder than Jake Mangum can. Jake Mangum's a fine 4th outfielder. He's not a guy I want starting every single day. I think we can all agree with that one. He has a personality a lot of people like, but he's not going to be a guy that you want to start every single day. This bullpen needs to improve as well, as we covered in the first half of this episode. I think all of us, as Yinzers, as Pirates fans, no matter what you are, you can agree this bullpen needs to be better. I didn't really get into Isaac Mattson. I didn't really get into Carmen Mlodzinski, Jose Urquidy, all these guys, Mason Montgomerys of the world. I didn't even talk about Chris Davinsky and his whopping 2 innings of work and 3 earned runs so far. 2 1/3 innings, that is, for Chris Davinsky so far. And let's see if I can find the actual earned runs. 2 earned runs and 2 1/3 innings. Not a great start for Chris Davinsky. He's out with illness. There was a rumored video on social media. Go check it out. It's really funny stuff about Chris Davinsky. But yeah, thank you all for watching this episode. I just want to get a lot of that out. This bullpen is struggling. O'Hearn is hurt. They got to figure something out because it could be a while, and he's one of your better hitters. You have to do something. You're only 1 game above 500 now. Try to come back home still above 500. It's going to be close. 3 games against the Cardinals, 3 games up in Canada, up north against the Blue Jays. You have to figure out a way to stay afloat. You cannot sink. This is please do not reshuffle the deck chairs on the Titanic. I beg you, Pittsburgh Pirates. Do something to fix these issues. Mainly the bullpen. If Joe Stinson Garcia and Ez Merlin Valdez are the answer, they're probably going to struggle when they come up. It is what it is. But this bullpen, guys, it needs fixed. You cannot reshuffle the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's still going to sink. And that is how this bullpen makes me feel. So, thank you all for watching this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. What are you doing to fix this bullpen? Who are you hoping to see replace Ryan O'Hearn? What are your thoughts on guys like Jake Mangum, Marcell Ozuna, who we covered a little bit today? Make sure to subscribe down to the channel down below. We're on the road to 600 subscribers. We are getting close to being halfway there. Hopefully, we're getting halfway there pretty soon. But make sure to subscribe down to the channel down below. Leave your thoughts and comments and concerns down below. And also leave a like on the video. So, I will see you next time. My name is Nathan Osler. Thank you guys for watching the show here on my YouTube. As always, have a good one, and let's go Bucks.